Simpson.
Thank you, Speaker Pro Tem. I guess that's what they call you. I appreciate you being. I appreciate the eloquent opening statements of the chairman of the full committee and Mr. Neguse. But I have to tell you, is it on? Yeah, there you go. I have to tell you, Mr. Chairman, when you laid out what American families are going to be thinking about, what they're thinking about today is how to get all that candy away from their kids so their dental bills don't go too high. Being a former dentist, I got to tell you, I'm kind of indifferent on this. Thank you to members of the committee for the opportunity to discuss H.R. 4821, the fiscal year 2024 Interior and Environment Appropriations Bill. H.R. 4821 provides $25.4 billion in new non-defense discretionary spending, which is $13.4 billion or 35% below fiscal year 2023. The bill also rescinds $9.4 billion in funding provided to the EPA, the Presidio Trust, the Council on Environmental Quality through the Inflation Reduction Act. In drafting this bill, we worked very hard to rein in federal spending while prioritizing critical needs within our reduced allocation. The bill fully funds payment in lieu of taxes estimated at $15.5 million and provides an additional $1.6 billion to fund essential wildfire activities without using irresponsible budgetary gimmicks. This legislation also makes critical investments in Indian country, a long-standing bipartisan priority for the committee, and provides advanced appropriations for Indian health services, something that Ms. Pingree, when she was chairwoman last year, started, and which is absolutely necessary. To support these programs, the bill reduces funding for nearly every other appropriation in the bill. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, the Smithsonian Institution, Council of Environmental Quality all received double-digit percentage reductions. To rein in the EPA, the agency is cut by 39% below the fiscal year 2023 level, with reductions aimed at research and regulatory activities. The bill also includes important policies limiting the activities of the administration and promoting domestic energy production, including reining in the EPA by halting the heavy-handed job-killing rules and regulations such as the Waters of the United States rule and other EPA overreach that targets reliable energy sources and domestic manufacturing. Limiting abuse of the Endangered Species Act, expanding access to critical minerals, and requiring oil and gas lease sales. In closing, I'd like to remind everyone that cutting funding is never easy, and it can often be ugly and an arduous process. I've noticed that Mr. Neguse talked about the dysfunction of the Republican conference over the last 3 weeks. Frankly, that's democracy in action. That's how it works. I can tell you one thing that all Republicans agree on, is that we have to reduce spending. We debate how much and how fast, but all of us agree that we have to reduce spending. With the national debt at $33 trillion and inflation at an unacceptable level, we must make tough choices to not saddle our children and grandchildren with overwhelming debt. Some may say that discretionary spending is only a small fraction of our nation's spending problem and that entitlements are to blame. But last Congress alone, think about this, last Congress alone, $3 trillion was spent outside of the normal appropriations process. $3 trillion that just went onto the national debt. That was outside of the normal appropriations process. This reckless spending, as small as it is to the overall problem, contributes to our nation's growing debt. We must rein in unnecessary federal spending and put our economy on track to recover. Thank you to my colleagues and my friend and ranking member, Ms. Pingree. We've been friends for a long time, working on this bill and others. For your work this year and for the Rules Committee for the opportunity to testify today, I'd be happy to answer any questions.